the humble fighting game genre. Known for a careful consideration of game balance and not wanting to make its player base jump off a skyscraper, this cherished collection of booby ladies, muscle men, and whatever the hell Jeddah is supposed to be is revered the world over for its undeniable focus on fairness. Yeah, it's no surprise that there have been some truly busted fighting game moves over the years, and I thought it would be fun to make a video where we look back at some of the more egregious ones. Before we go any further, I'll shout out the likes of Lord Knight, Justin Wong, JM Crofts, etc. for covering similar subject matter in the past. As to not repeat their info, I've created a list of unique attacks that I don't believe have been frequently covered by other creators. Also, I'm not saying that these moves are objectively ultra broken and will murder your whole bloodline or anything like that, just that they're overwhelmingly powerful within their respective games. With the formalities done and dusted, let's explore the depraved minds of fighting game balance teams. Do you remember how child Kazuya was thrown off a cliff and only survived thanks to plot relevance? Travel back around 30 years or so, and you'll hear rumors that this was thanks to a deal with the devil. Literally, Kazuya agreed to a Faustian bargain with the Prince of Darkness himself to not only survive the fall, but to get some wild moves over the years. What the is going on? The most relevant of which being Devil Kazuya's twin pistons in the first Tekken Tag tournament. Functionally, it's about what you would expect. Connect with both hits to send the enemy flying and then tack on a juggle. Hell, even regular Kazuya has access to the move, so what makes Devil's iteration so special? First off, the naked purple monster thing can use twin pistons from a neutral position. You don't need to crouch or wave dash or do anything special, just input down forward 1-2, that's it. On its own, down forward 1 is a 13 frame mid poke with crazy range. Seriously, this thing is wicked. And the 2 follow-up is a natural combo. This results in consistent punishes from almost anywhere on the screen, and you can use easy, damaging follow-ups to score Oki. Like with any other Mishima, Devil loves using unpredictable mids and lows to make the enemy scramble, with twin pistons being a key component of his pressure. Say you've conditioned poor King to block high and avoid being launched. In that case, a sneaky hell sweep is all that's needed to make him question his life choices. But if he starts blocking the low, which is launch punishable mind you, twin pistons will send him straight to the vet. Now you might be wondering about the move's frame data. In any other Tekken, throwing the move out with reckless abandon is the fastest way to end up unconscious, and one would logically assume that this applies to Devil's version too. Oh, you sweet summer child. For reasons that I assume involve a shocking lack of foresight, the full string is only -6. That's right, this long-range launching mid that guarantees a combo in any and all situations is completely safe on block. On top of all this, you can tag buffer Devil out to safety if he has low health. In my view, this is probably the strongest twin pistons I think I've ever seen. You can bully a lot of newer players by spamming the move, daring them to block low if they expect a swipe at their legs. Conversely, experienced players can shut the move down if it becomes too predictable, so make sure not to rely on it as a crutch. If you ever find yourself playing Tekken Tag 1 and are unsure of who to select, Devil is a safe bet for twin pistons alone. And now for something completely different. I've always known about that one Japanese exclusive Sailor Moon fighting game with the really stupidly long name, but never really got around to playing it. However, once I saw who the development studio was, I knew that there would be something disgusting for me to include in this video. Case in point, the Diving Gaia Crash, Sailor Uranus's command grab. By the way, Uranus is so strong to the point where she's banned from competitive play, and in a game as devious as this, that's really saying something. For starters, there are 2 versions of the move. Light has more range but does less damage, and Heavy is the inverse. Okay, that seems about what you would expect from a command grab, and when combined with her mediocre movement, nothing about this seems particularly egregious. Well, this is where we slaughter any sense of normalcy, as both grabs have 1 startup frame. If Chibi Moon wants to get up close and personal, she's instantly gonna have her oversized anime skull slammed into the pavement. Oh yeah, remember 20 seconds ago when I said how Uranus has mediocre movement? Surprise surprise, I lied, because both of her dashes travel full screen and can be buffered into the diving Gaia crash. Basically, even if you're as far away from the enemy as possible, they're kind of within command grab range at all times. Dashing forward to call the move's pushback after a knockdown allows it to be looped too. If your opponent somehow conquers Uranus' loving embrace and forces you into a block string, guard cancelling into the grab will instantly destroy their offense. If you aren't aware, guard cancels let you cancel block stun into dashes, specials, or supers. And since Diving Gaia Crash falls under these categories, Uranus can effectively punish the enemy for maintaining pressure. If all of this wasn't enough for you, our hero could exploit player 2 port priority guard cancels to block out of a reversal forward dash. I know that sentence makes me sound clinically insane to anyone who has a job, but the gist of it is that when the Sailor Uranus player is plugged into the Super Nintendo's second controller port, the game lets them block out of their reversal forward dash. What I find hilarious, dear viewer, is that all of this gets thrown out the window if you land one Crouching Light Punch and route into Uranus' Infinite. Crouching Light Punch, Crouching Heavy Punch, forward dash, repeat. That's literally all there is to it. Man, this character is dumb. If you've seen my video about unique win conditions, or you just enjoy fighting games that make you question the future of humanity, then you've probably played Kamen Rider Super Climax Heroes before. Now, let me paint a picture for you. Many moons ago, I signed up for an in-person tournament using a faulty controller cable and incorrect button mappings while wearing a triple extra large Hawaiian shirt. Did I go 0-2 and lose horribly like the weirdo that I am? Hell no. In fact, I won the whole bracket undefeated, and it was all thanks to Kamen Rider Agito's bike. Seriously, this move carries me hard. With at least 2 bars of meter, flick the right stick to summon the bike from out of nowhere. It might look silly for a disembodied vehicle to fly onto the battlefield, but it's truly the stuff of nightmares, dude, trust me. Aside from the basic stuff, like high base damage and insane range, Agito can use it as a consistent combo ender. Once you have them in the corner, you can throw the opponent, mash the dive kick button, and then summon the bike for a 50% combo. At this point, the enemy has 2 options, with both being excellent for Agito. If they get scared and try to run away, to which I don't blame them, not only can he stay back and charge meter for 2 bike summons, but he can use his ridiculous heavy punch to start combos. Look at the range! On the other hand, if the opponent attempts to pressure Agito, he can summon the bike to kill their advances. Yes, if there's a gap in their block string, even if it only lasts for a frame, the bike will slam into the enemy. Assuming you fail to block and actually get hit, you can combo Agito's burst into the bike, effectively punishing the enemy for playing the game properly. During the tournament I spoke about earlier, there was a time where I summoned the bike right before being hit by a super, and the frame that its accompanying cutscene ended, it flew onto the screen and won me the round. Aside from being locked behind resources, the bike's trajectory is quite linear, and can easily be avoided at longer distances. Outside of these relatively minor weaknesses, choosing this instrument of doom on the character select screen is enough to almost shatter the other player's mental stack. In retrospect, I think I got super lucky when randomly choosing who to play in this game. Not many can do it like Agito. Get this, 2 of the most iconic comic book supervillains were turned into secret playable fighters in Marvel superheroes. But hidden beneath the whimsical world of Marvel vs. Capcom lies a third, more mysterious secret fighter. As Marvel owns so many characters to the point where it wouldn't surprise me if they started buying people, this hidden evildoer could be absolutely anyone. Now, imagine how morbidly confused Marvel fans were when they discovered it was Anita, the little girl from Darkstalkers. In spite of her being, you know, a child, she's mind-meltingly powerful in every way. In case her meterless damage output, screen control, and small body privilege weren't headache-inducing enough, Her Love For You super shoots out 99 little death pellets in a shotgun pattern, so the closer you are, the more of them make contact. Thanks to how Anita is the size of an ant, running away and whiffing normals to build meter is quite the frustrating strategy, one that results in some solid damage. Sorry, did I say solid damage? Because I meant to say a crap load of damage. For the affordable cost of 1 bar of meter, Iron Man can kiss over half of his life bar goodbye. Ouch! At first, I thought the super's lengthy startup animation would prevent it from being a reliable combo tool, but lo and behold, you can use it to end a grounded Magic Series route. Additionally, Love For You's chip damage blatantly violates the Geneva Conventions, as it does the same amount of damage on block as it does on hit. What? As the aggressor, you can win a battle without ever making contact with your opponent. Simply force them into some basic block strings and then cancel into the super. On the flip side, Spider-Man can finally breathe easy once Anita eventually runs out of meter. It's not like there's a way for her to automatically build it, right? Oh no. Yeah, if she takes a page out of Thanos' book and activates the Mind Stone, there's nothing stopping her from spamming supers until the install timer runs out. The only way to avoid the onslaught of damage is to remain at super jump height, a strategy that can easily be adapted to. Although she may be banned from competitive play, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection allows you to select Anita in online battles. Gee, thanks Capcom. SNK and colourful projectiles, truly a match made in heaven. I'm confident that even the most casual of players will have thrown out a few round waves or kaichosens in their days, and for as iconic as these moves are, they're simply too vanilla to be dubbed overpowered. Having said that, allow me to introduce you to the console version of Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, as these specific ports contain extra characters not found in the arcade version. Case in point, Goodman. His playable counterpart is slightly weaker than his final boss variant, thank god.
Man, are we gonna be stuck here for a while?
But thanks to his reflector, he's still a menace to society. Putting aside the fact that Goodman's console exclusivity had him banned from tournament play, this move alone would have most definitely achieved the same result had he been playable in the arcades. In fact, the game prevents him from joining forces with a partner character. That's how good he is. It's even in his name. On a surface level, Reflector's lengthy recovery, limited range, and lack of screen control make it seem far from useful, let alone overpowered. However, the one saving grace is that it's completely unblockable. By using his very subtle Flame Demon, I'm sure you didn't notice it, Goodman can zone the enemy from full screen away to trap them in the corner. All he has to do now is loop meaty reflectors until Asura perishes or spends meter to roll away. I was messing around with this strategy in training mode the other day, and because of how simple it is, I thought that there had to be something that I was missing, that there was some easy way for the opponent to escape and shut Goodman down for, well, good. And then, as if delivered to me by the fighting game angels themselves, Super Combo Wiki confirmed that this was indeed a legitimate strategy. Just to back up a little, the zoning tools you'll use to set up the reflector in the first place are also crazy good. There's a full screen set of flame pillars, a full screen lunge, and a full screen aerial drop. Did I mention that all of these hit from full screen? This final special knocks the enemy down for so long that it allows Goodman to run up and begin spamming. In this situation, it's pretty much a guaranteed victory, and you can also achieve this by confirming a normal into the special on hit or block. What I find funny is that if the reflector wasn't unblockable, it wouldn't be much of a problem, so it goes to show how one property is all that it takes to transform a move into something busted. You know, when I write these more general types of videos, I try to include some obscure stuff that the average viewer may never have seen before. With that said, I would be an idiot to omit Ivan Ooze's infamous DP, Popularity Be Damned. After infesting its way into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Fighting Edition, why do these SNES games have such long titles? It allows Ol Ivan to break one of the fighting game genre's most agreed upon rules, hit stun. Some games let you burst, some games let you combo break, and some games sneeze on your unvaccinated children. but they're all united by the inevitability of players taking damage. Not this game though, as Ivan's DP breaks hit stun. Yes, you heard me correctly. If at any point this purple specimen of a man takes damage, he can DP to consistently break free. This costs no meter, can be done from anywhere on the screen, and completely shifts the match's momentum. Because the developers were repulsed by the thought of game balance, Ivan can fly around like he's Doctor Doom, completely invalidating much of the cast. This might sound crazy, but I'm of the belief that this one move makes Ivan Ooze the strongest fighting game character ever. I know, there have been plenty of unbelievable fighters before, but at least you can get them stuck in a combo if you play your cards right, a notion that is merely a suggestion in Power Rangers. Now that I think about it, Ivan's ability to escape from any form of adversity probably results in 10-0 matchups across the board. Put it this way, if a move like this existed in a modern fighting game, I'm pretty sure that its creators would receive so many death threats on Twitter, that's all I'm saying. Seriously though, this move is the literal definition of overpowered, and I still can't believe that no one thought to remove it from the game before it came out. There's an endless stream of other overpowering attacks throughout the genre, of course, but the ones we just covered are some of my favorites. What it all boils down to is that no matter how hard fighting game developers work to ensure fairness and consistency, some of their creations will eventually rebel, essentially becoming the he who shall not be named of their respective communities. As always, if you feel that there's another overpowered move that we should all learn about, please feel free to pop it in the comments section. I'm sure there are some crazy anime games that haven't popped up on my radar, and I would love to read what you guys have to say. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you and your time, and I hope you had fun. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.